Hi everybody, it's Kathy here from Kathy Loves a Scrap, and I'm coming to you from Down Under, and we are on Series 15, Christie's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, and this is day 13. I'm a little behind, but I will catch up, and I want to do all of them. So this is the layout that I created using Vicky Taganod's beautiful sketch. As you can see, I first thought it was going to be an easy layout with some elements, but it ended up becoming quite detailed, and I am actually liking how it turned out. So I've got together some bits and pieces that I think I may or may not use on the layout, and I always like to have lots of choices, so I bring lots of things together that could tie into it and then work my way through those elements as I progress. Now, all of these beautiful Alice in Wonderland cutouts here come from Scrapbook Fantasies, and I'll have a link below for you to their website. That's an Australian company, and they have beautiful papers. This one here is a Kaisercraft one, and I've had these papers for a while and I've wanted to use them. They are just beautiful as well. And then I'm going to have this lemony yellow cardstock, which I will build my base from. Alright, so first of all, I'm going to use a frame in my layout, and I always try to have that frame around my papers, just so that it gives it edging and finishes it off. And I'm going to cut my base paper by removing 1/4 of an inch from each top and side, so that it sits nicely on that frame. The yellow lemon cardstock I use later on in the layout to mount my photos, and it's a great way of stretching your stash. So by doing this, I've laid it down, and now I'm going to use this beautiful rich coloured paper, and unfortunately a lot of it gets covered up, but it's there in the layout. And I'm cutting it down to, I think I was 9.5 by 8 3/4, and then I'm cutting off from the extra side of it the 2 red strips, which will go down to the side as per the sketch. I'm just marking off where that's going to be in my layout, because the reason is I'm going to use this middle piece in my layout as well as one of the tags you'll see later on. So I'm layering this up, putting down the pieces of paper to create the main part of the layout as per the sketch. Now, remember, you keep all your scraps from when you cut up a layout, cut into a piece of paper, and it's always handy to match those when you're building a layout. Now, remember, when you build a layout, and this is what I always do, because I get asked how come I can always look so nice and your photos don't get lost in the layout. It's because I use the colours from the photos. These photos here were of my daughter and I on our cruise. It was our first day. We just got on the ship. We were going around and exploring. This was outside of the Wonderland restaurant, and they have this big chair and Wonderland scene. So I thought this was beautiful with these papers and tied in nicely with this layout concept. I have also got a cutout down the bottom that I created on my Cricut. I did that actually a long time ago, and it's been sitting on my desk for a long while because I've been waiting for the perfect opportunity to use it in a Wonderlandy type photo, and this is perfect for this one here. These were both originally the same size photo, the one that I just placed, but I trimmed down the one with myself so that it fits onto this layout as per the design. And Vicky has created such a great sketch for this that it fits in beautifully. So I'm layering up my photos. They overlap each other, and that's fine because the key elements are us in the photo, but the fact that it is a Wonderland. And I have the big red rose on the side, which ties in nicely with the papers. As I said, you can see that that beautiful black paper gets covered up, but I know it's there and it is hinting out behind. I'm layering up this die cut from my Cricut with some foam tape so that it stands up off the layout. It has the Mad Hatter's hat and the clock, which is a Wonderland theme, as everyone who knows Alice in Wonderland knows. Alright, so I've got the bare bones of the layout together now, and I'm just now going to zhuzh it. I'm just going to add those extra bits that finish it off and create the overall effect. Well, I'm using more of this paper, the scraps, to create a banner across the top as per the layout, and I'm alternating the colours so that it complements what is already on the sheet but also builds on to the layout. I cut fishtail banners just by folding them in half and then cutting the triangle out, and that way they're all exactly the same, and you can see that they go across that top left-hand corner perfectly. So I'm going to use some thickers here that have words already spelled out in them, and as per usual with all thickers, they tend to lose their stickiness after a while if they've been sitting on the sheet for too long and change of temperature and so forth. So I'm just adding a little bit of Nuvo glue to the back of them so that they will stick in place, and I'm calling this one Fantastic Adventure. I use my ruler here to line it up straight so that those letters are in a straight line. And I'm going to leave the S on the sheet because I don't need adventures. I'm just calling it a fantastic adventure because it really was a great adventure for my daughter and myself. Now I'm using something old here, and I'm using my awl to put holes into my layout so I can put in some brads, and I'm using some black brads here on that banner to tie it together to pin it to the page so that it looks like it is pinned into the page. And brads are a thing that we used to use very, very regularly in the early 2000s, and now they've sort of come in and come out of phase every now and then, but I still like a brad, and I have quite a lot of them, so I use them quite regularly. And this is something I learnt recently, that to stop them from catching in your layouts when you layer them, cover them up with some washi. So that was a good idea, and it makes them slide in and out nicely. So as I said, I have got lots of these cutouts from Scrapbook Fantasies pages and papers, and so I've just gone through the ones that I had left over, and I'm selecting a few more to add to the layout, and they are all Alice in Wonderland themes, and they're the blue, which ties into the background of the photo and the title in the photo. So I once again am trying to complement as best I can so that they don't overpower those photos. Your embellishments should be a complementary thing, not a main focal point. So that's why I always choose the colours that relate to the photos, and that way they blend nicely. So I've gone and layered those up around, creating three clusters, and I'm adding in some flowers as well just to boost that up a little bit more. I have this quote off one of the branding strips that said, "Blessed are the curious, for they shall have adventures," and that ties in nicely with the theme of the page. Now, at the bottom of Vicky's, she has some journaling. I'm not journaling this because it's going into the cruise album, but I did think that this titling strip here works well as a quote and ties in nicely. So I'm pretty thrilled with how this has turned out. I'm just going to add the date here because it was our first day, so I actually know the exact day for that one. A date stamper is a great tool. If you don't have one, I highly recommend that you get one. It's so much easier, and it's also a stamp that you just put in down at the bottom. I have now added all the bits that I like, and I'm just finishing off with a little bit of faux stitching around the edge so that that red lifts up off that background and it draws the eye into the page. With my Nuvo drops here, I'm creating that visual triangle with my 3 bright yellow dots in the 3 substantial places of the clusters, and that finishes it off. That also allows the eye to roam around the page, and it draws you in looking at those photos. So even though I have those clusters in place, and you can see those Nuvo drops, when you use them, be generous, give them a good solid foundation so that they actually don't just fade into the background like a smear on the page, and that has brought it all together. Lots of people are playing along in this hop with the 30 days of sketches. I have the playlist linked down below. This was the beautiful sketch that we started with for day 13, and this is how mine turned out. So I'm pretty thrilled, as I said, with how it came up. If you'd like to copy anything, please do so. it's all about supporting each other and inspiring each other. I'm more than happy for you to take any of the ideas and the elements I use and capture them on your layouts. It is what it's about being a scrapbooker. So this came together beautifully with Vicky's sketch. Leave some thumbs up for all the girls playing along. Don't forget, I'm Kathy from Kathy Loves to Scrap. I really do appreciate if you give me a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that you like my content and it brings it up into the feed. If you aren't already subscribed, please considering. Thanks to those that keep returning. If you leave me a comment, I'll get back to you shortly. I always love the feedback. You can find me on all my socials under my name, Kathy Loves to Scrap, even on Instagram where all my layouts end up, even those without videos. Thank you once again for giving up your time. Happy scrapping. Until next time.